Whoop, whoop. Looks like it's a bull. Let's see what happens tomorrow. Good evening, and hey, what's up? This is Brian Kuzmar with Commercial Rare Coins and Precious Metals in beautiful Lauderdale by the Sea. What a lovely evening out there. Look at this. Got the Port of Miami camera up. It's got to be, what, 78 degrees or something like that? 78, 77, lower, 75, 74? I guess, boy, it's going to make me look, but nice and cool out. And, I'm not a big fan of Miami. It's just too crowded for me. It's even getting crowded up this way. But what a beautiful live cam this is of Port of Miami. Looks like someone out, looks like a yacht out there, and a cop pulled a yacht over. So a couple people out there, I think they're shrimping probably. That's why they got the lights on. Maybe, I'm not sure if you want to shrimp in the Port of Miami. So go shrimping. But they do catch shrimp in the inlets. Let's take a look and talk about what the quote of the day. So this is what a SmackDown looks like. And for you new folks out there that have just been stacking gold and silver recently, this is kind of what a SmackDown looks like. If you think about it, where have we been just recently? And I'll give credit to that to Shawn Michaels, who is a wrestler. I don't know much about him. Got to give credit to it. Like the quote here, so I figured I'd share it with you. And it's appropriate for today. Let's take a look at spot prices right now. Let me do a quick refresh here. Courtesy of CCE, one of the greatest dealer networks out there, I think. They've been around for ages and ages. A dealer-to-dealer network. So if you're a dealer out there listening, CCE is a great place to subscribe to deal with other dealers buying, selling platinum, silver, and gold. I don't get paid for saying this. I just give them lots of credit because I've been on their system for a long time, and I use their spot prices here to show you guys. And believe it or not, that's where SD Bullion is out there. I think JM Bullion is out there in some form or way, and so is Atmex Bullion. They're all dealers on the system. But let's talk about spot prices. I just want to give CC some credit for these spot prices. And let me do a quick refresh here again. Currently, spot 1836.94, 2191 silver, and platinum at 947.44. Premiums are down across the board on all products, so I believe that, again, this is one of those scenarios, if you got the extra money to buy these dips, and who knows, will it dip lower? Possibly, that could happen, but tough to say. And, what is that on my screen there? I just got a new screen. I hope I didn't ruin it. Nope, I didn't. Broke my screen last week, a couple weeks ago, by the way, so I just got something on it. Sorry, I'm easily distracted, as you know. So these are bargain basement prices right here, and you can get what was last night. The video was primarily about I went over all the different products, which are the best deals out there, which are not so good deals, among the more commonly traded products that you see in the stacker community and in the wholesale and retail bullion community as well. And premiums are just cheap. I think, what was it, 265? Hold on, yeah, 265 for 1 ounce generics. Kilos as low as a 225 over spot, and good premium bars at spot plus 250 for kilos. And I think the 100 ounce bars were probably in that range, 260. But again, premiums are very reasonable. The price of gold, silver, and platinum is very reasonable, courtesy of the crooks in the Crimex market that, again, monkey hammer these markets downward, as Shawn Michaels like to say. So this is what a SmackDown looks like. Yep, this is what a SmackDown looks like. For you seasoned vets, you've seen it how many times over the last 4 decades. We talk about it all the time and where it happens. And as I say always, I don't want to drift into that topic. I just get so bored talking about these criminals over and over and over. So let's move into the spot prices, and basically here, which chart is this? This is, gold and silver prices, historical chart level. Where are we sitting right now? Macro trends, I like their charts, I really do. February 2023, silver 2184, gold in that 1835 range, as you can see right here. That's the most recent prices, or in that level. If we back up to here, you see that gold is 1928. I believe at intraday level, gold did hit 1950 or higher. I could be wrong on that. I'm not quite sure how Macro Trends derives their prices here, but close enough. We were much higher here not too long ago in January. Silver was at that 2368. That, when would they show a high of 20? What is the high here? 2396. Yeah, and I think we did see an intraday, again, intraday silver price of above 24 for sure. 2450 or something like that. If any of you guys remembers, it's not reflected on this chart properly. And gold 1928 again at that high. We're seeing a much lower price right now and lower premiums across the board. And we weren't too far off. I mean, what are we bouncing off the low here? 1792 silver back in August in 2022, which it wasn't an awful long time ago. And the same October, gold too, even more amazingly, gold dropping below silver, tightening up that ratio, which we'll talk about as well here in a moment. 1916 versus 1632.38. Wow, check that out. Well, silver was, hold on, silver, yeah, 1916, 1632. That was a tighter ratio. I wonder what that ratio is. Give me 1 second. 1632 and 1916. Divide 1632 by 19.16.
It's approximately 85.1774.
Okay, interestingly enough, that is still a pretty wide spread there, 85 to 1. So I want to take a look at the ratios here in just a moment. But take a look at that. I mean, just from October all the way to January, we watched gold go from 1632 to 1928. I mean, that's, wow. That's over a $200 increase there. 16. I'm counting on my fingers here. $300. I'm sorry, $300 increase. Silver too. Take a look at that. I mean, from a low of what on silver? 19. Oh, hang on a second. There we go. We're going to get down there. 17.90 for all intents. Let's say $18 to where we are or where we were not too long ago at 24. I mean, cripes. That's a 35. That's a $5.68. I mean, that's pretty incredible if you think about how low silver was. So prices on the downward right now again, and it has nothing to do with organic, sales. There's nobody selling large amounts of gold and silver out there, folks. What typically indicates falling prices is when less and less people want a particular commodity or product. They're stopped buying it, they're selling it, they're in the sell mode, they don't want to own it, they get rid of it. That's what causes falling prices. A fall in demand, a decline in demand, and a increase in the amount of product available or production, whatever you want to say. That is just not happening in the gold and silver markets. It hasn't happened in decades, if we really think about it. There's not been any, if not much at all, retail capitulation out there, except in the Crimex paper markets, where the big, where the price discovery is made for these crooked markets. But no less, dirt cheap prices out there, in my opinion. We weren't too far off a much higher price. Where is that? 1928 to 1835. That's about a $100 difference right there that we're seeing between January right now, between where we were just in January not too long ago to where we are in February right now. $100 lower. Where is this going to bounce up? Right now, again, I think it's kind of plateaued sideways, but tough to say. Will we see another dip down in this area? I just, especially for silver, I just don't see silver hitting that $17.92, $18, $19 level. But again, never underestimate these crooks in these paper markets. You just can't do it. But I think the market is so broken out there, and Ted Butler talks about that so frequently with the silver market. It's so broken, it's so screwed up. There is such a big physical shortage out there in the type of, not in the investment 1 ounce bars and 10 ounce bars and kilo bars, but in 1,000 ounce bars in large quantities overall. So, again, premiums have dropped for silver, but there's still a premium on buying silver, no matter who you are. Even if you're buying 1,000 ounce bars, it's costing a premium. And could you go out there and buy a ton of them at once to fulfill? No, not without driving the price up. But anyways, let's move into something else, which is the gold to silver ratio. For the last 30 years, let's just kind of go back here. In the past videos, I've kind of drew a line where I felt, again, this is just eyeballing it. It's dangerous eyeballing lines and averages just based on a chart here. But I've pretty much figured that the average, with those ups and downs and these downs right here, I figured the average for the last 30 years plus have been probably in that 65 to 1 ratio. And as you can see, a few times that's been way out of whack right there. 93 to 1. I remember that. It was 112, 100. Again, I don't know why these charts don't accurately reflect that. Maybe I just can't zoom in on it good enough. But we did see above 113. I just saw 113 there, so maybe I just can't zoom in. But we saw, I think it was above even 120 at one point, maybe again, intraday trading, what we had in the gold to silver ratio. And prices and product was just like, things were crazy. We're also seeing an increase in the gold to silver ratio now. Now, what does that have to do with the crooked Crimex paper markets? Something, it really does, because I believe that these criminals, they can't just go out and say, all right, we're going to, like I roll my coin. All right, let's flip a coin, heads or tails. On Thursday, are we going to drop the market? Okay, it's a heads, you get it, Ted. All right, at 2 o'clock, are we going to drop the market? Oh, it looks like you get it, John. No, they don't do that. When they monkey hammer these markets, there's a few things that they have, and there's a few things that they look at. And one of the primary things they look at is who they're playing against. And as Ted Butler talks, we'll talk about the silver market in particular, that Ted Butler talks about is they're playing against the managed money out there. They're trying to shake them out of their long positions, trying to get them to take short positions. It's big commercial banks trying to shake out the long positions. So the price discovery, and again, the big collusive commercials out there all know that they can't just flip a coin and decide to do it on Thursday or Friday. There has to be some kind of news behind it. There has to be some kind of excuse or reason for them to go out there and spoof these markets down, and they just can't do it out of the blue. They have to have some moronic regulator be able to look and say, well, the dollar was down that day, that's why gold and silver was down. No, bullshit. It was down because there's collusive, manipulative behavior in those markets. But, if regulators and people out there were just looking at a silver market and they couldn't say, well, look, the dollar was down, that's why we saw markets sell off, or this or that. If they didn't have an excuse, it would the evidence against them would be that much greater. So really, if you notice with gold and silver and platinum, they primarily get hammered, monkey hammered on news when the Fed speak, when they talk about interest rates rising interest rates. But when they really get desperate, and when the markets get hammered in the middle of the evening, and when they get hammered on no news, you know that these people are desperate, because again, they typically hammer the markets on news, all right? Again, just to hide their actions somehow, but they're not even doing that anymore. All right, there I go down the rabbit hole of crooks in the Crimex markets. I wanted to talk about gata.org. Couple good articles here. This is not homework, this is suggested reading. You can get it for free, again, gata.org. A lot of good stuff here. Ted Butler urges CFTC to catch up with the latest COT reports first. Some of you guys are pointing out to me that there was something to do with a hacker that hacked the CME Group's computers, and this is why COT reports are late. I think that there is some truth to that. I don't think it was a CME Group's computers, but a trader or a broker that they use. Their data kind of got jammed up or hacked, and that's what kind of slowed up the whole process. At least that's what they say. But Ted Butler is talking about that they should kind of skip over that data until they can get it or fix it, and should begin with the most recent weeks, not the weeks that have been delayed the longest. So good article there, and if you're into that technical kind of stuff that Ted talks about with the COT reports, you should read that. China's U.S. Treasury holdings hit 12-year high, and rate hikes tensions hit 12-year. It's not surprising. We all know that they're de-dollarizing. It's the BRICS nations. They talked about it for a long time. We weaponized the dollar years and years ago, and all these countries, China included, realized that if you piss off the United States, we'll just yank our banking system out from under them. Then what are they going to do? Well, anyways, they've made plans, and that's exactly what's going on. This is not. There's going to be more lows in this, because they're going to continue to sell off treasuries. They're not going to sit there and hold treasuries, especially with the hostile environment they're dealing with the current administration, and even somewhat the past administration, but more so with this current moronic administration. Barrick CEO, that's mining stuff. I stay out of mining stuff, but for you guys that like mining stuff, maybe there's some money to be made on reading that right there. And Reuters suggests that gold is the ultimate money. No, tell me it ain't so, Reuters. Boy, those guys aren't genius. I think Reuters is owned by the CIA, by the way. That's just my rabbit hole, my conspiracy. India's January gold imports plunged by 76%. You know, this could explain this graph right here as well, because gold, as opposed to silver, gold is somewhat more organic, because when central bankers and countries demand gold, especially like India, they're demanding physical gold. That does have an impact. That's kind of why you're seeing prices shoot up to there. But apparently what they're saying is India imports dropped off dramatically in January, and that might explain that the fall off that you see here to here is that organic gold, you know, real gold, being kind of not bought by Indians who were strong buyers for quite some time, and they'll be stepping back in the market soon. Where else are we going to go from here? A lot of good reading here. Again, suggested reading, not homework. GATA.org, some good stuff there. Not going to get into the best deals, worst deals. I'll get in a nutshell. Silver Eagles are the worst deal, most beautiful product, but worst deals out there at spot plus $7 to $9, overpriced in my opinion. Best deals out there are still 100-ounce bars, 10-ounce bars, kilo bars, and they're starting anywhere from spot plus $225, $250, and up on small quantities. That's what we get for them here at Commercial Rare Coins and Precious Metals. We offer to beat APMEX, SD, and JM Bullion, and the local dealers down here. So if you're looking to buy gold and silver and platinum, you live in South Florida, we're the place to come visit. When it comes to gold, the best deal, again, is gold bars, I think. You know, but people love coins. I don't know why. They love their gold and round. Maybe it looks more like pirate money when it's round. It's a thing that's in, you know, it's got to be round. But spot plus $110 on gold buffaloes and eagles, which is not that bad. But, you know, if you buy a 1-ounce gold bar, you can buy them for spot plus 70, and you can get a silver, 1 ounce of silver for the same price you can buy one of these eagles for. Gold, maple leafs, same way. They're kind of priced in between. But watch last night's video. I went into a lot of detail about what the best deals are, and that kind of still applies today. And like I said, if you're looking to buy gold, silver, and platinum and precious metals, visit us here at Commercial Rare Coins and Precious Metals. There's my store website, commercialrarecoins.com, with all our details, and we can hook you up. Meanwhile, let me get into last night's video, which was I'm back. And why did I say I'm back? Not like I get kicked off this channel, but sometimes I expect it when I start talking about politics. That's why I tell you to make sure that you bookmark this, because I am there. If you ever see me not here, I'm hopefully will be over here. And I'm on here as well. So here, and here. But I'd like to give you that visual. But let's take a look at yesterday's comments on videos here in Newest First. I don't know why I do that. I put newest first and I go to the bottom of the page, work my way up. That's maybe an ADD thing, perhaps. Let's take a look at Linda. What's up? Better late than never. Yep, sorry again. I was away last week, as you know, for the Lakeland collectible show, gold, silver, platinum coins, all kinds of cool stuff. There's a new one in June, so I'll give you the heads up when I get the dates up for that one. Wilfred Vasquez, second to none, keep stacking. Thank you, Wilfred. Oh, you were in today, Wilfred. That's right. Sorry about that. God, sometimes it's hard for me to connect the, well, I shouldn't tell people who was in, but anyway, it was nice to see you, Wilfred, today. Keep stacking yourself. Matteo says, I was getting worried. No, I was just out of town for a week, man. But I have learned most of the time when I'm out of town, whether it's vacation or a show, that the internet connections are too bad for me to do a video that I can do, you know. I can't talk for less than 10 minutes, so, you know, my videos end up taking hours to upload, so there you go. But I'm fine. Thanks for thinking about that, and thanks for commenting. Welco, you as well. I have to click that link. I'll do it after the video here. John Schroeder, so as a coin shop owner, do you hedge in the paper market to stay safe? No. I'm going to tell you a simple secret that, not a simple secret, something I'm not afraid to share, but I don't tell many people. I maintain a position, and I try to increase that position all the time. So when I sell, say for example, if I have 1 million pounds of silver, I'm bragging, I don't have 1 million pounds, but say I had 1 million pounds of silver, okay? And I sold 500,000 pounds of silver. I like big numbers, isn't that cool? And I would just buy back, I would sell my 500,000, make my small profit that I do when I sell it, and I would buy it back immediately for the same price, but a little bit cheaper, make my vig, so to speak, okay? So I maintain a position, that's what I do, and as I go along, I try to increase that position. So no, I don't hedge it. I'm in it for the long haul. I don't believe that silver and gold's ever going to crash back. We're not going to see $5 and $10 silver ever again. Maybe in a new world dollars or some new world dollars or CBDCs, I doubt it'll probably be more like 1,000. But yeah, so I'm in it for the long term. So my whole goal is to maintain a position, sell that position, and replace it immediately and make the big. If you get that. Thanks for the good question. Thanks, John. Rick Amon says that's 8,100 tons. Yeah. My math skills kind of go sideways on me sometimes. Sideways or downhill. That's what happens as you get old, it all goes downhill. From there, Rick Ingman, glad to see you. Hey, glad to see me back too. Glad to hear the show went well. It did. Lakeland went very well. It was a great Collectorama show. It was good. Again, I'll share with you guys the dates for the June show coming up here this year. ATL Atlanta. I'll be up in Georgia myself sometime in the next few months. BJ Stambaugh says, Brian, we're grateful to see you. Great job on the show. Must be nice to have jobs. It is, and no longer a job, but it's always a job. I grew up in this business, but I tell you what, I'm always thankful and grateful because my job is really easy compared to most people's jobs out there. And I guess again, you can call it lucky, you can call it blessed, whatever you want, but I'm happy with that, and I feel lucky, blessed, whatever you want to call it. Hey, thanks, appreciate it. It was nice to see you again as well. Donald Diesno says Yankee Stacking Coin Dealer YouTube. I like Yankee Stacking. They got that older coin dealer guy that he's probably my age. I like to call everyone else older than me, that talks about stuff. Yeah, pretty cool show. I've seen it a couple times, but remember, folks, I don't watch a lot of YouTube videos on gold and silver stackers. Remember, I live this life 5 to 8 days a week. 5 to 8 days feels like it. 5 to 7 days a week sometimes. So it's like a plumber working for 5 or 6 days. Does a plumber go home and watch gold or plumbing videos? Probably not. Highly likely he does not. But the weekend warrior that wants to learn plumbing does. If the weather will allow me to get out of Iowa, I'll be visiting your shop next week. I hope so. It'd be nice to visit, or nice to meet you there, Jerry Etter. Silverliner, nope, didn't get Monkey Hammer. I got Smackdown. Smackdown, I had to go over there. Gary Biggs says, welcome back. Thank you, man. Cotter, welcome back, Cotter, man. I remember that show. That's where, what's his name? Oh man, John Travolta got his start, didn't he, on Welcome Back, Cotter? Ray Foley says, I'm in DC, went to Rage Against the War Machine. Oh, awesome, man. Here, I'm giving you a little bow here and a kudos. I'm glad you went, man. I couldn't disagree with the war more that we've got going on right now, and wars in general in the military-industrial complex, and the amount of people, working class people, that have to die in rich people's and empires' wars, needless wars to fuel, again, the military-industrial complex, greedy politicians, and all that other stuff. Good to you, man. I'm glad you went, Ray. You're a hero of mine for just going there, and the people that went there to protest. I'd like to say if I had the time. I guess you could always make time, but man, I'm working 3 jobs right now. But good for you, man. I'd like to hear that. Thank you for doing it. Jerry says, hey man, I'm coming from Detroit, stay marathon for a week. Awesome. You're going to get some fishing in, I hope. Marathon has some good charters. I mean, I always wanted to do a charter on the Gulf Coast. They take you out to some really shallows out there where you can do either permit fishing, snook fishing, tarpon fishing, you name it, all kinds of cool fish out there as well. And redfish too, I think, I'm not quite sure. And then you got your Atlantic side. So what a great place. I like Marathon. Again, a little quieter than Key West, but a great place to fish from. Yeah, if you get a chance, swing by. You know, I've been so busy, I'm in and out of the store, so if I don't get a chance to see some of you guys, I always call to see if Brian's going to be in. Yeah, hey, Brian's going to be the, you know, and again, sometimes I have to run out, so I've missed a few of you folks that come down to see me, and you met my staff and stuff, and I feel bad about that, but again, it's hard for me to, you know, again, I'm in and out and working a couple jobs right now. Single and Looking says kilo bars of silver hard to flip. Not on silver, on gold, yes. 10-ounce bars are hard to flip too on gold, but on silver, kilos aren't too bad. The problem with kilos actually got really popular down here. I think it was the price point mostly. People could deal with the math and everything like that. Kilos, although people do like the simple math of 10 ounces, multiplying times 10, but you know, kilos have been really popular with us down here for the last couple years because again, the math is a little foreign to some, you know, a lot of Americans. We're used to dealing in ounces, and people like to be able to just look at 10 bars and say there's 100 ounces there instead of saying, oh, how many ounces? That's 321.5. Yeah, well, anyways, you get it. They said stick with 10 ounce and 100 ounce bars, and I can't complain about that. As long as 10s and 100s are close to the same price as kilos, I'd still rather have kilos than 100 ounce bars. I really would, because you know, silver hits $50, which it will, and hits higher, which it will. You know, remember $50 makes a bar worth $5,000. Do you want to sell $5,000 worth of silver? No, you might want to sell a third of that, which is, or not a third, but give me 1 second here. 30. Anyways, lost my head there. You might want to sell 30 ounces, not 100 ounces. Yeah, a third, or almost a third. So that's the advantage of buying kilo bars. You know, when you go to sell, if you want to sell some stuff, you don't have to sell a big chunky 100-ounce bar. You can sell a smaller increment. And again, the price point is very appealing for kilo bars, especially if you're buying a lot of bars. Conscious Dragon, Single Looking, thanks for commenting. Conscious Dragon says, great show, finally nice to meet you. Thanks for the 2023 Eagle. Oh man, thanks. Thanks for coming to Lakeland. I hope you had a good time there, and I'm glad I was able to fill that order for you and get that 2023 for you. Nolan Santa Cruz says, hello, Mr. Kuzmar, enjoy your show. Those live cams of fish, yeah, they are pretty cool. Thanks, I'm glad you enjoyed that stuff, and thanks for commenting, Mr. Santa Cruz. Michael Matthew, yeah, Palladium freaking just got smacked down big time. I wasn't paying attention, but I thought it was around 2,300. I remember 1,800, 1,500. Where's Palladium now? 1,500, wow, pretty sad. I'm sure that the palladium market and the platinum markets are even more monkey hammered by the big crooks than the silver market because they're smaller. Easy to monkey hammer those markets around pretty easily. Okay, Christopher McCormick, are all gold coins and bars liquid, and have you ever turned some away selling francs, ducats, sovereigns, and bars that aren't fake? No, never. We buy it all. We have the equipment to buy any type of gold, bars, coins, even in scrap and weird forms. Because we got XRFs, we got experience and all that stuff. So no, we never turn it away, but I can't say that other shops don't turn it away. You know, some shops, you know, they don't have the equipment, you're not familiar with the product, they may turn away ducats, sovereigns, and things like that. So really it's dependent on your dealer, who you're working with. And that's why I always recommend you guys, if you don't live in South Florida, you can't deal with, here goes my advertising. If you can't deal with us at Commercial Rare Coins and Precious Metals, before I do that, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, hit that like button right there, hit that subscribe button, a little bell up there somewhere too. I'd appreciate that. But that's why you want to visit us at Commercial Rare Coins and Precious Metals, because we can give you good prices on that stuff. And we know what we're looking at. By the way, don't forget, you can catch us on Rumble. Maybe I shouldn't have said that word. There goes my views. Backed up on there, just in case you don't find me here someday. You never know. Again, I'm not known here. Look at that. That's pretty sad. 28 followers. But I hardly look at tweet, but I would look more here, and I think it's actually becoming a nicer platform with Elon Musk owning it, and more of a free speech platform. I'd like to see more people supporting free speech platforms. There's so few out there. Facebook is definitely not one of them. So you can catch me there. Meanwhile, if you're looking for product, here I am. Commercial Rare Coins and Precious Metals, The cheapest place in South Florida, all right, not the cheapest, but I am very competitive, and I do beat most all the locals down here, and I can beat APMEX, SD&J, and Bullion on their commonly traded, reasonably priced gold and silver products. If you're looking to buy or sell any amount from $1 to millions of dollars worth, I'm your guy down here. Please call or come by and see us anytime between 10 and 4 Mondays through Fridays. Meanwhile, folks, thanks for watching. Have yourself a wonderful evening, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye now.